Hello there, everyone. Apologies for missing out on the recording of the actual live second lesson, but I'm re-recording, so I hope it's as good as the one that was live. But let's see what happens. Anyway, so today is our Facebook Ads 101 Lesson 2. And what we're going to cover here is how to scale your ads, well, the winning ones, and how to kill your losers. I just want to make sure you know that this is for the people that are starting with Facebook ads. The lesson 1 was about creating your first campaign, prospecting and retargeting campaigns, right? So then how do we move on from that? That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me share my screen. Okay. So welcome to our lesson 2, how to kill losers and scale winners. For those who don't know me, my name is Cyntia Miyashita. I'm a mechanical engineer turned Facebook ads geek. I own a digital agency called Blue Ripple Agency, and we're specialized in scaling up sales for e-commerce stores. I love sailing and I love startups and helping them grow. Okay, I'm also a big traveler and wine drinker. Not big wine drinker, I'm a big traveler. Anyway, so the disclaimer, the usual disclaimer is just to say that Facebook advertising is not an easy it's not an easy thing to be successful as very quickly. You need to be patient and practice and understand, invest time, money, and a lot of effort. Okay, so what I teach here is basically things that work for me and work for my business. So hopefully it can work for you too, but I can't promise, but I'll try to make it work for you as well. The other thing is, what am I selling? Nothing. So sit down, relax, and learn. Let's go. So today's objectives is setting up your ads manager so then you can do analysis, so then you can make informed decisions on how to proceed, continuing your ad, scaling, or cutting it. Understanding what your KPIs are, and then a few tools on how to actually scale. Okay, some techniques. We're going to go through that. Right. How do you then set up your ads manager to make a decision? I like to set up mine with this view. So what is this view? This view is, you've got the results column, you've got the cost per result, link clicks, content view, cost per content view, ads to cart, initiated checkouts, purchase ROAS, reach, impression, frequency, amount spent, budget, and schedule, CPC, CPM, CTR. These are the tools, the numbers I use to make decisions, and I highly advise you use it too. Let me just show you how to get to that. And basically what we do here is you go to your business manager. I should have set this up before. Maybe I can just pause. No. Okay, sorry about that. So here we are. You are into your business manager, and you've got your campaigns level, ad set levels, ads level. Basically what you're going to do, you're going to go to these columns here, and you can start with performance and clicks, right? Because it has most of those KPIs. Then you go to customize columns, and here you start choosing all of those lists that I had set up in the slide before. So basically you go, okay, I don't want clicks all, CPC all, CTR all. I want I want CPC, I want cost per click, I want, and then you choose here. What happens is it's going to go down to this column here. What you see at the top goes to the left-hand side, and at the bottom it stays on the right-hand side. So you can organize here to become the view, your preferred view, so you can do your analysis, okay? Then you click apply, and you can also save as a preset. So you can go, I'll just back to customize, you save as a preset, and you say my analysis view, whatever, analysis. Yeah, my analysis. And then you apply, and then you can always go back to that, okay? So that's how you set up your ads manager to do your analysis. Now, next. Some of the metrics to keep in mind are CPM, which is your cost per 1,000 impressions. Basically, this is the cost of your audience. And it's hard for me to give you a target because it really depends on what your product is and what your audience is. But it's something to keep in mind. Now, with your CPC, which is your cost per click, you use a good target is to keep it less than $1 per click. Okay, and your CTR, just click-through rate, what it means is every 1,000 people that see your ads, a percentage of that will click on your ads. And how do you use the CTR? I like to use CTR based on my ads. So if the CTR is lower than 1.5, lower than 1, and I have no purchases, I have nothing, not much engagement, that means my ad is not talking to my audience. So I need to improve my ad. It's either the ad copy or the image. Something needs to be changed so I can engage my audience. So CTR is very important for you to gauge how your audience is responding to your ads, okay? Right. Now, a very important metric is your ROAS. And it's not only about looking at your ROAS, which is return on ad spend, based, like if it's more than 1, you break even. No. How do you know you're breaking even so you don't lose money? So you use a break-even ROAS. Break-even ROAS is your profit margin divided by your selling price plus 1. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of maths here. So your product, you're selling a product for $20, but you paid 10 to acquire it or to build it, whatever. So that means your profit margin then is $10. Yeah. So what you do, you put 10 divided by 20, 0.5 plus 1 is 1.5. So your break-even ROAS is 1.5. What does it mean? Everything above that, you're in profit. Everything below, you losing money, basically. In the beginning, it's normal to have your ROAS losing money because you're on testing phase. So don't get desperate and just cancel everything. That's why you have the other metrics to know what's working. So you try to use them together, okay? So general rule for decision making, if your ROAS is greater than your break-even ROAS, you're going to start scaling up that ad set. If it's equal to your break-even, that means you're not losing anything. That means I would still scale it slowly and monitor to make sure we're still getting traction and increasing our ROAS and keeping above the break-even point, okay? Now, if it's much less than your break-even ROAS, give it some time to get the data. And if it's less, then just cancel it, cut the ad set, all right? Okay, so how do you scale then your ads? We've got 2 types we would like to call, vertical and horizontal scaling. vertical scaling, whoops. Okay, vertical scaling is basically increasing budget. Don't just go and increase budget. There are different ways on how you scale that way. One way is 20% incremental. So if you're spending $10 a day, what you do, you go to $12 a day. So that's quite a slow process, and it allows more for the learning phase as well. And the reason why you do 20% is that you don't mess up the algorithm that how Facebook is already working with that ad set and with that audience. So you're trying to keep the same metrics, yeah? And that's why you do 20%. If you just change your budget from $10 to $50 and publish, what happens is Facebook goes back and tries to it doesn't keep the performance. Basically, you can mess up the performance of your ad set. Okay. The other way that you can scale it faster in a vertical way is to duplicate your ad set. So exactly what you do is just get your ad set and duplicate. And on the second ad set, you can double your budget. So the first, say ad set B, ad set A, you had $10, duplicate, ad set B, $20. And there you go. Keep running both. And once you see this, the double picking up, you can cut the initial one. That's one of the ways you can do vertical strategies. We'll go more into it later. Now, horizontal scaling. What's the horizontal scaling? Basically, what you're doing here, you're testing different audiences. Like you can do, you're doing audiences that were interested in fashion. Now you see that that was working, but you're scaling that horizontally, and you cut some ad sets that were not working for you, and you duplicate the fashion ad set and change the interest to, say, female clothing or something like that. So you start testing different interests. The other thing you can do is to optimize your ad set based on some analytics. And where do you find this data to optimize? Here, it's a screenshot of like going to the ad set that you've been running. You click on a chart that is on the corner here, and you're going to see this. Let me show it to you actually. Okay, so you go here, you choose your ad set, and then here you click see charts, for example, right? And then you go demographics. Now you see, in this case, I had women 65 plus and women 55 to 64 purchasing. My cost per result on 65 plus is greater, so I could build my next ad set could be exactly the same interest, but then I would focus only on women 65 plus, right? Or I also can just do 55 plus and forget about all of these ages, because I can see from this ad set that 55 plus is my audience, and that's how you let me check this one. That's how you use this tool here to duplicate and optimize your ad sets. Okay, so you have a look at placements as well and delivery. Okay, another tip here is pixel data. So you can go to your, you can go to your pixel data inside your business manager, and you will see something like this. This is the information you have there. What I would look for here is page view, view content, add to cart, and purchase, right? And I would see what is the drop between those numbers. So from page view to view content, I've got half. Now, why is that? Page view is people that clicked on the website. Your contents, people that waited for it to load for 10 seconds. Now, it's 50%. It's low. So I need to go back and check my loading speed. I need to check if my landing page is consistent with my ad, because it has to have the same messaging. If people click on the ad, they want to continuous information from that ad on your landing page. And if they don't see it, they go out. Okay. Now, then the next thing to see is add to cart to view content. So out of 130 people, 93 are adding to cart. That's more than 10%. It's a good number. It's decent. Can we improve? Yes, we can improve, but I'm not worried about it. If it was out of 830 people, 25 add to cart, then I'll be worried. It was like, okay, I need to really work on this page now to improve my add to cart. Now, from add to cart to purchase, so I had from 93 add to carts, 11 purchase. Again, this is more than 10%. Just there. If it was 2 purchase for 93 add to cart, then I'd be concerned. Maybe my checkout process is too complicated. It has too many steps. It's not loading properly. People have to add to cart and they go somewhere to buy. So there would be many, many things you could improve on your process to improve this ratio. And the more improve this ratio, you increase your revenue. Okay. So these are some quick tips that you can use. Questions, sorry, can't ask anything else because this is a recording, so nobody sees. But I hope it helps. And if you have any questions, just ask me. Drop a line below. Go to our group and just ask in our group. Okay. And I hope it has helped you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.